In our next panel, we have the Honourable Greg Fergus, Speaker of the House of Commons. Mr. Speaker, you will have up to 10 minutes for your opening comments, and we welcome you to proc. The floor is yours.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I thank you for this opportunity to appear before this committee. First of all, I would like to apologize to all of you here today and to all of my colleagues in the House, and especially to all Canadians. I apologize. I recorded a video for John Fraser, a longtime friend. Even though I had been told otherwise, it was broadcast at a partisan event. It was not to be used as such. Even if it was to be used in private or in public, I should have never recorded it. I know I made a mistake. I apologize fully. When I became Speaker, I talked about being like an arbiter. This is something that Canadians know very well. That is, ombudsmen or arbiters can make errors. But unlike an aftermatch situation, I made the wrong decision. I am here today to say that I will do better. I'm here I will set up a more rigorous protocol to make sure that that never happens again. I'm going to rely more on the House Administrative Services and the Clerk's Office to look at such requests. I have spoken with speakers and parliamentary experts in Canada and in other parliaments, and will look for their advice. I said that the words and symbols count. When I applied for the speakership, I said that respect would be at the heart of my activities. Respect of people, respect of decorum, respect of the parliamentary institution. These values are very important to me still. But it is important to say that, like anyone who starts in a new position, I am working on the job and learning on the job. Let me give you a few details on the events that led us to here today. Like many of you, I have made some very long-lasting friendships with people from all walks of political life. The Bureau of Mr. Fraser asked me for something to mark his departure of the Ontario legislature. I decided to send what I thought was a private message of congratulations. I quickly recorded it between two meetings. In the video, I talked about the importance of his friendship and support for my wife and myself when we were starting to date, when we were newlyweds, and later when we became parents. That personal message was then broadcast during a public and partisan event. It should have never occurred. But more importantly, if I had not recorded that message, it would have never occurred. It would have not happened at all. It is entirely my fault. It was a hard-earned learned lesson, and I can assure you that it will never happen again. Before concluding, I would like you to know what I experienced as a young Black Canadian. I was someone who dreamt of being a member of Parliament one day, but didn't know if it was realistic. I had not seen many members of Parliament, much less speakers, who looked like me. Lionel called me up in Ontario. It was a young parent who recognized me, and he said that it was very important for him and for me to become Speaker. He said that his daughter now wants to run for elected office when she is older. To Lionel and his daughter, and to all Black Canadians and racialized Canadians who are following this debate, I am really disappointed to have let you down. I can promise you that I will do better. In conclusion, know that Parliament and its traditions are very dear to me. I have a very strong attachment to this institution. I was page 35 years ago. I'm very pleased to be able to run the affairs of the House in a spirit of cooperation and respect. My first task every day is to fulfill my role in an impartial and respectful manner, because that is what Canadians of all origins and all political convictions can expect of the Speaker of the House.
To appear before you here, Madam Chair, let me continue with some remarks in English. First, let me apologize to all of you here, to all of our colleagues in the House, and indeed to all Canadians. I am sorry. I recorded a video message to John Fraser, a longtime friend. Despite assurances to the contrary, it was shown at a public partisan gathering. Most importantly, regardless of it being aired privately or publicly, I should never have recorded it. I apologize unreservedly. I know I messed up, and I won't do it again. When I assumed the Speaker's chair, I spoke about the role being like a referee. And I think one thing Canadians know well is that referees make mistakes. They are human. But unlike a referee after a game, I'm here to admit that, yeah, I blew that call. But I'm also telling you that I will do better. I'm putting in place a more rigorous communication protocol to make sure this never happens again. I will rely heavily on the services of the House administration under the leadership of the clerk to review these kind of requests. I've also been reaching out to speakers and parliamentary experts in Canada and in other Westminster parliaments. My work will benefit from their advice and counsel. When I took on this role 2 months ago, I said words and symbols matter. I told you how respect would be at the heart of how I would take on this role. Respect for people, respect for decorum, respect for the institution of Parliament. These values continue to be important to me. But it's fair to say, like anyone taking on a new post, I'm learning on the job. Let me explain how this happened. Like so many of you, I've built deep and enduring friendships with people from all political backgrounds. A family member of Mr. Fraser phoned my office to request a personal video for a private surprise gathering to mark his departure from a leadership position in the Ontario legislature. I agreed to send what I believed would be a private message of congratulations and quickly recorded it between 2 meetings. On the video, I talked about what his friendship and his support meant to me and my wife as we were starting out as a couple, eventual newlyweds, and later new parents. This personal message was then shown at a partisan public gathering. This should not have happened. Most importantly, if I had never recorded the message in the first place, it would never have happened. That's on me. It's a hard lesson learned, a mistake that will not be repeated. Before I conclude, let me also share what it was like to be as a Black Canadian kid who loved Parliament and procedure. A kid who dreamed of becoming MP one day, but wasn't quite sure how realistic that was. I hadn't seen many MPs, let alone a speaker, who looked like me. Recently, I was stopped in Toronto by Lionel, a young Black Canadian father who recognized me. He told me how significant it was for him and his daughter to see me in this role. His daughter, he said, now wants to run for office when she grows up. To Lionel and his daughter, indeed, as well as to Black Canadians and racialized Canadians who are watching these proceedings, I am sorry I let you down. I will do better. In closing, let me be very clear. Parliament and its traditions are deeply important to me. I've been connected to this place since I was a teen, 35 years ago as a parliamentary page. I remain committed to presiding over the House of Commons fairly, thoughtfully, and collaboratively. Job one for me every day is to fulfill my role with impartiality and respect. Because that's what Canadians of all backgrounds and all political beliefs have a right to expect from the Speaker of the House of Commons. Madam Chair, I thank you and committee members for your time.
Thank you.